What's up, guys? Vince Righty here. Welcome to VinzTalk, where we talk about the news and talk about what's happening out there. And yeah, this is kind of like my own news firm that I have created, or just me ranting in the air. It's usually just me like settling down and just like, let me tell you how my day is, okay? Let me just tell you in a very angry tone. And also, let me tell you about these other things going on in the world. That's basically what it is. It's just me and my early grumpy uh, years of just ranting. But other than that, yeah, let's do this. So pretty much, yeah, I've been trying to do this 3 day upload where I upload like Friday to Sunday. And so far, it's not easy, but I've been trying to get used to it. For the longest time, I've been just uploading. What is it like? Just Saturday and Sunday, and that's it. But I've been trying to change my habits. I've been trying to actually upload more than just those days alone. And Friday, and which is usually the normal. But yeah, hopefully, it's not gonna be perfect. If anything, you probably might seen this and you're like, "Hey Vince, where's the videos for Sunday? Where's the videos for Friday?" I'm sorry. Okay, I just haven't been catching up. Just a habit because I've been busy with classes and work. But other than that, yeah, let's talk about some stuff. Okay, so I want to get the first set of news out of the way. It's a channel that most of you are not familiar with, which is understandable. But it for me, as a person that loves geography, I just know I have to shout them out. So there's this channel called Geography Now, and pretty much the creator of that channel is Barb's, the host, the co-founder, the creator. That's his channel, and it has like 3 million subscribers and stuff like that. He covers like countries on countries, but also he lives here in California as well. He lives in LA, and there was some news surrounding this where it was like heartbroken to see, but also it was mostly like not a surprise, but it's very unfortunate. He got robbed. Now, I never got robbed in California. I got robbed in the Philippines, but I didn't get robbed here. So when hearing that, I was like, damn, that's like because the jewelry is that for his mom, and if you know Barb's, like he kind of just cares about his mom a lot. That especially with the jewelry, like from like Korea, I believe, that he got it from, and the thieves just stole it. Now I'm trying to think to myself because I was looking around the video. I was like, did they steal the computer? Did they steal like other things? Which, yes, of course, like Barbs can always replace them, but it's getting robbed is it sucks. It's unfortunate because I never would wish that on anyone when it comes down to, especially if you have a family or anything like that. I don't care what type of person you are. I just don't think you deserve to be robbed or anything. But yeah, that's it, apparently that's like a normal thing because I did hear that neighborhoods around, especially LA. This is not a surprise. LA, New York, San Francisco, especially here in San Francisco, like it's just been getting worse. Crime's been through the charts. People have been stealing. You have inflation to thank for that, but also you have the law of just like the whole politics, and it's easy to point fingers here and there. But I just pretty much bring this up to bring my condolences for Geography Now, because that has to hurt. Like what he's going through, I just cannot imagine that. You have mixtures of anger, worry, and it's not good for your mental health when you're getting robbed or anything like that. I mean, for obvious reasons, but like it's just never a pretty sight of knowing that, well, this happened, so this is just great. But yeah, that's just unfortunate to hear. So yeah, pretty much, I don't know. I'm not really a news. I'm not one of those news channel like in this report we are reporting for. No, I'm just a person that if there's a channel that I care about, I don't, even though like yeah, you should support like smaller channels, and this is not a small channel, but I support channels that the ones that I support are like the ones that are doing good out there in terms of like bringing up knowledge of just like for other countries, and just getting rid of like stereotypes of like about this and that country and stuff like that. And I've been a fan of Geography Now for years. They've been doing this for a long time, probably like like almost like 2 decades. It feels like, but yeah, that's just unfortunate just to hear. Geography Now getting robbed, and just like, hopefully they can still work on the other videos or anything, but it makes sense that they need a break, because when you go to vacation that long and your job is that, and then you can't see your house for a while, and they're making plans to move out, which is actually, I believe, is the smartest decision. Get robbed in, like, anywhere in California, especially, like, that should definitely break the straw's back of just like, what, I'm done. We're out of here. So hopefully go somewhere safer, like maybe somewhere in Texas or Vermont or something like that. Just one of these low key places that many Californians are taking advantage of, like, going. And many of them, specifically like places like Wyoming, are just annoyed that many Californians are moving there. And Wyoming people, the people there are just like, can you please get out of here? We don't want your, Huntington Beach or culture, freaking, I don't know, Silicon Valley BS pronouns here, okay? I don't know. I don't know what they say. But yeah, that's just what I want to bring up. Anyways, more speaking of like stuff surrounding anything that involves crime or anything. Because of course no one knows who the thieves are that stole from, Barb's house. And that's his name, Barb's, from Geography Now. If you know, you know. But there's this other channel, and you probably might not like him. I know I don't. He has some interesting opinions. There was a point where I was hearing a lot of perspectives from people from the right side. And yeah, Nick Mercado just, is going to jail. They're like this legal channel that happens I used to watch him a lot. And yeah, he's just, like, apparently, what was it? Like, it was something about possession or anything like that. I break this up because he is also one of the people that interviewed Vic Mignogna. I can never get his last name right. Vic Mignogna, the voice actor that has been accused for a harassment or anything, and people are still justifying, like, if it's true or not. And personally, for me, I don't believe it's true. Then again, what proof do you have out there? I mean, I like to give the benefit of the doubt, but I don't really think it is true. But yeah, Nick Rekieta, a channel that, and also his opinion. Like, one thing I don't like about him is that he's off the rails a lot when it comes down to just like, talking about people, and just the way he, announced them. It's just like, that's just not, that's not cool, especially being a lawyer. Like, he can easily be cruel to anyone, but still win, because he has the ways of actually, like, if they ever sue him, like, how dare you talk about me like this, like that. And then you go like, oh yeah, bring it on. It's just like he's easily just maneuvered them within the court, and they cannot win because he's a lawyer and they're not. Even to other lawyers, like, you could be like head to head with them. I don't know. I never dealt with lawyers. I mean, I did at one point because I've been evicted, but that's in the past. And I just have no idea how lawyers work. I can never imagine that job. Mentally, health wise, that would just be painful. Just to deal with the court each day, and I just couldn't do it. Okay, but with Kreda here, like he's going to jail for like drinking or in stream or something like that. I mean, excuse me, that you do what you do on stream. There is like a limit to all of that. There's a consequence to all of that most of the time. Not saying that it's a sin. It is a sin, but it's like you go off the rails, and apparently he got arrested for something, and he has 5 kids. It's like putting your kids in jeopardy through all this. It's painful to hear. And I kind of just, wish that he get his life together, like, and I heard this from the quartering that he, that this is all news from other sites that I've been hearing. And it's all in my mind of thinking, because at the moment when I heard about this, I did have a lot to say. But of course, when I stream it and try to pull it all together, it's like, yeah, damn it. I kind of gave you like a rough version, a rough draft of actually what I'm thinking about. All I can think about is like, damn, Mercado, that sucks. Has 5 kids. Also, I hate them, but at the same time, I don't wish this upon him. That's it. I don't know. Maybe I say the same thing for Lions Tips. Like, I just say, I don't really care about his videos, but at the same time, I don't wish him to lose that many employees. But then again, I don't know. But yeah, that's just like, I don't know what's like the end goal of this. I don't know how he's gonna get through this, because you would think like, lawyers going to jail, like they would have ways to actually get out of it, right? Or maybe not. I don't know. But that's what I want to bring up, especially anything surrounding the the world within the geeky news sets of just like many people surrounding the culture and of like just tech and entertainment and gaming and just stuff like that. Like I like to bring that up, and especially like to bring up most other stuff surrounding outside within tech, especially about open AI, because there's this whole news and just there's this whole thought provoking thing surrounding open AI and the conversation that I have in my head about like chatbots or just like AI chatbots, and also this plays into the idea of just like the same way I talk about Stellar Blade, the same way I talk about sex work or stuff like that. This having people having their own yums. A lot of times, like for example, like with some games that have like very explicit content, if you know what I mean. Adult content, and it's like I never understand that, but at the same time, other people that they enjoy them, and I guess they're making money out of it. Especially you see those games in the Switch, and that stuff is like just like not allowed. But hey, it's in the Switch anyways. It's like it's called like anti this and that, and it's like that's not what's in the freaking game. But apparently they just eat that stuff up, and it's like hey, if it makes money, I guess. But at the same time, and this is another thing surrounding the eShop, and I just want to get through real quick is that they really got to monitor their games. Like I don't know if I see that through Steam a lot. I don't know if that's ever commented in the PS shop or in the Epic Game Store or any other storefront for games. But I always think like eShop is the only place where you find most shovelware, and the rest is like somewhat decent games, and you have to see a few like bangers. You see a few like Prince of Persia's, Mario's, and here and there, and it's just like, can we please like do some monitoring of just like certain games? Are there certain like businesses out there that are so rich that they can just produce trash like those like sex games that have nothing to do with sex at all, and they just make money out of it? It's just like that's just like it's shovelware. It's like you see this like especially with that Last of Us game that happens to be just like a parody trash clone of Last of Us with terrible visuals, and out of nowhere it's just in the shop. It's like Nintendo, nobody in Nintendo are not gonna look into this. Like it's just insane. Anyways, but yeah, and pretty much I want to get back to the open AI because this is about the whole thing with Scarlett Johansson suing AI because the voice is similar to the voice from the movie. What is it called? Her? Like it's called Her, I think, right? Maybe I'll think about something else. Let me type it up because I'm on my PC. AI movie with yeah, I just typed that. So yeah, it is Her. I was right. And I remember that movie. I was like, damn, I now thinking about it, I can remember the whole sequence and the prologue and everything like that. But I do remember their conversation surrounding like, relationships in virtual AI. And there's this whole thought to me that I keep thinking and having this conversation, like I said before, in my head, is that it's this is early on because I remember Japan being early into this when it comes down to relationships with AI and also just with chatbots and just not real people, especially with like one that had a relationship with Miko Hatsune, and that's just a made up like character that is in like a hologram form and just like they just are in love with it or something. Like many instances with that, like and that's in Japan. But now here in the West, it's like it's kind of like different the way we kind of like made that happen because we can fall in love with our phones. Our AI could be on our phones, like the AI chatbots that are like in these apps. Like, hey, talk to your AI chatbot, and there's like this ad on TikTok saying that you don't need to argue. You don't need if you break up with the AI chatbot, nothing happens or something like that compared to a real girl or something. But it is the conversation of like real people versus AI. They're replacing our job, but now they're replacing our relationships, our needs. There is a part of me where there is both good and bad. True that people they just want to get what they want. If they want to like have a romantic relationship with an AI bot for the funs of it, not taking it seriously. It's only different when it's actually like it's like, oh, this is my only thing. I don't need to talk to anybody outside of my life, not even your own family, not even your own wife, not even your own husband. No, you can just fall in love with your chatbot. Not even to your own kids. Like, imagine rejecting your own children for the sake of your own. You can just make some AI chatbot children. And it's just like, that's kind of like almost, that's like messed up. I'm just saying how it is, and like that's almost becoming a future, at least later on, because I know that someone like what's her name, Brett Cooper, covered this about this whole open AI, about Scarlett Johansson thing like that, and owning, like, and this is for the people, like, for Scarlett Johansson and other bigger people, like they have the money to actually set lawyers and sue the people that copying their image or something like that. And I know this happened with CT Cinderella or QT Cinderella, that with the whole deepfakes thing. And it's like AI is beginning so advanced there. There is instances where it could go into a more extreme measures of just like, putting people's, safety at risk, or putting their image at risk for the sake of like certain pleasures of certain AI bots. Because the moment that OpenAI was advertising the whole FaceTime thing with an AI chatbot, that people are going to use that for something, right? Like, it's already out there of just the idea of that with the whole text chat A-bot, and also making these role plays. You don't think that's going to be the same and more mainstream with the whole FaceTime thing? Like, that's, I don't know. My throat is dry. Holy crap. I did not set up myself. I did not wet my whistle for a lot of this, conversation, but hold on. I needed the water because I'm really choking here. But that's what's happening. Like, the amount of technology that is actually replacing people. I know it's a worrying thing. It's crazy to think about, but it's already happening with, like, real jobs out there. Like the whole, like, there's certain jobs involving tech and everything, and you see all these companies, they're replacing people with AI. They even admit it, like Ubisoft and also like PlayStation. And it's like, damn, it's like, is this what's happening? I don't know. I just want to put this in the air of just like that conversation, because a lot of people are not talking about it. They're not talking about like the pleasures surrounding AI, and they're not really talking about like how that's like serious for the people, but also the idea of like, is it okay or not? Is it better than a real person? Like the certain pleasures you have compared to a real person that doesn't appreciate it, but then you put it to like an AI chatbot and nothing happens. Nothing happens to you. Like, I don't know. Like, there is conversation like within OpenAI, at least from what I heard, that they're trying to make sure it's not sexual, like, for sexual purposes, of just like with the FaceTime thing. But that's just like, I don't know. There is still ideas for outside of like OpenAI. There's other AI companies that are thinking of actually going into that route. And I think, Replica did it early on. So this is probably not a new thing, but it's more like, and then there's like this whole conversation, especially surrounding mostly women that talk about this, that are fighting against this, that are just stopping this. And it's a, I don't know, it's an interesting battle, what's really happening out there. It's kind of like showing like, these perspective. And the way I try to voice it and everything, because at this point I have my thoughts down. I have my notes down, but I'm freestyling it, to make it digestible for most of you, and also for me. Other people, like, I'm hoping that other people can talk about this in a much more professional standard, other than what I can do, because I'm just here yapping. I'm just like I'm like the equivalent of a crazy homeless person that's just talking to another friend. That's me, okay? I'm that crazy homeless person that's talking to a friend. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what's happening, and also my throat feels better. I needed that water. See. Anyways, let's go into some other stuff here, and this is around the whole PlayStation thing, because we are in gaming territory. We're in the gaming news. This is the gaming news segment. The other stuff was real life segment. There was other certain stuff real life. I would talk about the whole Diddy thing, man. I don't care. He deserves to go to jail. I know that he, in some ways, should be going to jail for what he did, because that is just crazy. The footage, like, it's over for you. Asking for forgiveness for God. No! I don't think, like, the way he calls out for God for that is just, like, I just can't. I don't know. That's, like, what? I know that God forgives like all, but what did he did? You never know if he's still doing it right now. And my throat is okay. I'm gonna be doing that a lot because I don't know what it is. It is so dry in here. I'm dry air. Also, I just ate. So there's probably some bits in my throat still. But moving on to PlayStation because this is surrounding, and this is something I really want to talk about, knowing that it's surrounding my area. For those that don't know, I live in northern like San Francisco, and any time you put a store in San Francisco, you're basically risking it. You know that, and also the robberies don't help. Okay, you got these kids out here robbing these streets like it's GTA 6, and it's insane. So PlayStation just decided, like, hey, we're gonna put a PlayStation store in San Francisco. It's cool, but also it's like you need security. You need to think this through before you put something, okay? It's kind of like, hey, before you put this, like, cake that you made in the freaking oven, maybe you should think about the Fahrenheit. Maybe you should think about how long you should put it in there. Maybe you should wrap it around or something with aluminum foil or something. I don't know how to make cakes. I'm not a baker. But, you got to think things through before you put something, okay? Like, I feel like they should do that. But unless they want unless they're rich to the point where, hey, it doesn't matter if our shops are robbed, we can always put another one. We're going to put it in another deeper area in San Francisco. Maybe the same area. It's like, with the amount of businesses that are closing down and inflation is going up to an all up high, the economy is screwed, especially here in San Francisco. Especially here. Getting a house here no. You got to be Bill Gates to do that. And especially how that's hard for many mom and pop businesses out there. And now you're putting in a PlayStation store. And it's like, why though? You could have put it anywhere else and it been successful. But, of course, San Francisco, it's cool because I get to go there. I will check it out. I'll go to San Francisco for this occasion. But it's going to get robbed. You do know that. The amount of people that really want a PS5 and that are willing to do whatever they can to get that, I guarantee you, they might get it, especially these kids nowadays that are just robbing these streets. And I say kids because whenever I see robberies here in the Bay Area or in California or in anywhere in America in general, it's always them, these tiny little freaking, with their pants sagging and the big Jordans, and it's like, they got the ski mask, they looking like they about to sturdy. Like the freaking like Fortnite players, okay? These Fortnite clones are just like out here stealing. Just stealing, just robbing freaking GTA 6. I'm telling you, they can't wait for it. So they decide, like, oh, let's just do it in real life. It's crazy. Like, the amount of, like, people, when I drive around, I notice there's a good amount, like, these cars that are just runned up, but also they don't have license numbers. I don't know what to do at that point. Should I call the police or something like that? Like, the amount of license numbers that are just, like, pretty much that are just not on the cars. It's, like, kind of sketch, And they're going to places that I usually go to, like groceries and stuff like that. It's like, can you leave us alone? Can we just have, like, especially in places where I go to get cheap food and cheap, meals and stuff. I'm trying to save money, but at the same time, it's hard when you got to risk your life for it, So when you put a store in San Francisco, I know it's expensive, PlayStation, equipment ain't cheap. So that makes an opportunity for robbery for within the the robbery community in the Bay Area. They try to keep it secret for obvious reasons, but that place is gonna be robbed. Okay, putting a PlayStation store in San Francisco, you're risking it. Okay, and plus you have to think about paying the tax, and you think putting your employees in danger. You also have to think about like maybe put some security. And I know that maybe I'm going a little bit overboard. Maybe I'm oversaturating because I always think about the worst a lot of times here in this damn city. And that's why I make plans to move out of San Francisco, move out of California. God, please get me out of here. You know what I mean? To the point where I'm starting to think to move back, to Italy or move back to the Philippines. Like, I just don't, like, I'm tired. I'm tired of this. I just don't want, especially if you have a family coming up, you don't want to put them in jeopardy of, in a place this dangerous. But maybe, I'm oversaturated. There's a part of me where I like to believe because I live here and it's easier just to not move out, save money to actually not move out and just be somewhere safe. And, I'm blessed to actually be in a safe area here in the Bay Area. But, it's just the potential. It's a different story if they put it in Oakland. That's just not gonna last. Let's be honest. Put it in Oakland, maybe it would make sense if you save money, but no, 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 no. No, you're risking it. You're risking it. It's not. I'm telling you. It's crazy out these streets. You have to really I still believe that most places that are been robbed before, they should have security. At least two, three security guards on the recons of just looking through hey, is this place safe? In the premises. Anyways, moving on. This is something random. There's this other. So pretty much one of my favorite podcasts is called Spawncast. It's a Spawncast podcast. With Argentina and all of them. Now they make gaming talk, that's another separate podcast surrounding Spawncast. I don't know why. But there's another freaking new podcast. And it's called Spawncast. And it's like, what are you doing? And it's a bunch of these kids. I would like to call them kids because they look very young. They look like my age. They look at least I guess 21 at best. They look like freaking college age. Especially this one kid that looks he's young, and I say young knowing that they're adults because they have the beard and and they're British, which has nothing to do with it, but that's another thing I want to put out, just because, but they're young and they have beards. It's okay, what's, this is sort of people that I collab with during college classes, a week ago, what's going on here, but I'm getting too soon with this. They make a podcast called Spawncast, and I'm that name is already taken, but it is a new gaming podcast, and I've been wanting to see more gaming podcasts. So let's just see if they change the name, because I support small channels, support small businesses here and there when it comes down to supporting small channels, because at least it's free. But change your name. Anyways, Spawncast is already taken, okay, and that's my favorite right there. It's like an ultimate of just every morning I always listen to Spawncast. Pretty much the news set that Sean just pretty much put out, and just talks about oh, today here in news, and welcome to this podcast, and I don't know his intro. He seems like a normal person. There's no way to actually copy or just how he talks or anything, and I couldn't say the same for anyone else in this podcast because they just talk like me because it's American based. Anyways, yeah, people are talking about a lot about the 1,000-Year Door. That's getting high reviews. I'm still playing the 1,000-Year Door. Okay? GameCube. I'm playing on an emulator. Now, I'm thinking of playing on maybe getting on the Switch or something if the game's good. I don't know. Games like that, and let me say this. The 1,000-Year Door, at least from what I play in the GameCube as of right now, it's really good. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the what is it called? The troubleshooting missions. You do these missions on in this hood area. At least I call it the hood. My abbreviation of it. But yeah, just it's a fun game. I don't know why I don't hunger for actually playing it. I mean, the game was actually, listen, I'm playing the one on GameCube. It's so good that I decided to get the one for what is it? Paper Mario, the first one, which is the one that I feel like I'm supposed to play, but I feel like most people are so they're already pretty much well known of knowing to play the 1,000-Year Door other than the first ever one, which I feel I'm playing the first ever one, so it's probably gonna be a while since I gotta come back to 1,000-Year Door. I mean, I've been on and off about that game, but yeah, it's getting high reviews on the Switch version, and I'm kind of curious. I just because it's a Nintendo game, it just has to do well, even though it's a remake. But, moving on. And then this is going to be a conversation where we might have to go to the deep end with this one, because it's something that I really do want to talk about in terms of, my opinions on it and so forth. Neil Druckman, the creator of Tilu, The Last of Us. And also, I believe, director, HBO show, but I don't know. I just enjoyed it. I don't know about it. But other than that, is saying something here which is quite interesting that I kind of want to bring up, and this is kind of in reference to Dreamcast Guy. I know people have opinions about Dreamcast Guy. I honestly, yeah, he has some takes where I'm just questionable. I mean, shoot, I don't like him for the fact that he doesn't show up to Spawncast, and it has been years at this point. He's got a problem with Spawncast. What's up, Dreamcast Guy? He doesn't want to be around with anyone. What's going on with him? But other people don't like him for other reasons, and I don't know what their reasons are. So it's kind of funny. I don't like him because knowing that he just doesn't show up to Spawncast. I don't like that. I don't like it when people ghost other people for no reason. It's like, yo, is there a problem here? Like, yo, well, come on, man. Like, they've been nice to you, they've been good to you. It's like you just don't show up. It's like, what the heck? Anyways, moving on. Neil Druckman saying that, like, and this is from, like, Dreamcast guy. And I believe what Neil Druckman is trying to do is redefine gaming. And this is surrounding my rants of just, like, how certain areas in gaming, they don't need to be freaking polished or perfect. Because we're in a time of gaming where it is polished and perfect. It's okay. With the amount of stuff you can play, especially with emulation introduced, like, boom. It's like hyper lights out there when it comes to gaming. It's a freaking treasure hold every day. Every day. Because there's always new games coming out. But apparently he talks about redefining gaming and future technology. And I get it. You're surrounded with this with your own brand, with your own company, with Sony itself. And I'm about to get into my rant real quick. But he said, like, his personal vision is pretty much for bringing a much more realistic terms of gaming, and also the future of PS5 gaming or whatever it is, and that's basically surrounding either Uncharted or just like his own brands of, with Naughty Dog. But I don't know. I'm pretty much scuttle and all this, before anyone try to criticize or call me out or do a freaking Dreamcast guy on me. First off, I don't know. Okay. You think I'm qualified for it? Look, I'm giving you this as a normal person that is not qualified for anything. So I'm hoping that no major gaming outlets, like if Gene Park sees this, he's going to be like, what the heck is this guy talking about? What am I talking about? Am I on crack? I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm possessed, okay? You think I know much more, okay? All I see is red. But anyways, let me tell you something right here. That I don't understand the idea of just like, and this is certain of just like the gaming community that I stand with. The ones that don't have a PS5. Plain and simple. This whole joke about me, oh man, PS5, we should get a PS5 and stuff like that. It's been going on because it's the actual fact of me not having one in general. And I'm trying to work to get one. But let me tell you, it's already bad enough with the games coming out, and they're like $100. Assassin's Creed Shadow is $100, and that's online. For crying out loud, what are you trying to say when redefine gaming? I don't understand that. Because what you need to do is be more creative with your freaking games. We don't need more games. We just need to be creative with it. We need to actually tell a story with those damn games. Bring back franchises. Whatever happened to the Metal Gear series? Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, there's a freaking market for that. But they don't even freaking go for it. I would be also down for a new Uncharted. Or something that is equivalent to Uncharted, but it's not Uncharted, but it's still somewhat like that with the same gameplay and visuals and engine. Like, it's not that hard. But, redefine gaming, what does that mean? Do we need more graphics? And that's what people are saying about this. Like, more graphical, stability. No. First off, we gotta stop making games. And I say this with the same thing with Stellar Blade and freaking Elden Ring, which till this day I haven't played. Okay, and I would say the same for Bloodborne. I have no idea what Bloodborne is in terms of gameplay. I only seen the videos. You know why? Because I don't have the equipment to play the damn game. It's like you need to spend a certain amount to get that. I don't have for certain PCs and a PS5, you need a mortgage payment to actually get those systems. Okay, you need the money. And if you ain't got the money, you can get it. And especially in this time, I don't believe that there is like a moment that many parents that are like, especially parents, and you have kids begging like, can you get me a PS5? Can you get me a Switch or something like that? Especially in this inflation, I guarantee you the majority of them are going to say, no, little Timmy, no. Because we need food, Timmy. We need to pay our taxes, little Timmy. For crying out loud, little Timmy. You don't need a gaming box. You need to focus on school. That's probably what they're saying. At least in my perspective of being a parent, because I'm never a parent because I don't have kids. How would I know? But other than that, like, it's not cheap. It's like, why you need to make games that are willing to break your own, for the sake of reality, for sake of, visual, that's just BS. There are top tier games. Animal Well is a good example. It doesn't even have megabytes much to actually download the damn game. Okay, it has no gigabytes. It only has a few megabytes to play it, and it's already a top tier game. It doesn't need to be visually amazing. It doesn't need to be graphical and also just like, oh, we're breaking the edge of just like major stream gaming. No, we gotta stop with that. Indie games are doing better knowing that because they're relying on how their mechanics work, the story and everything. They don't need to worry about the freaking graphics, and most people get to play them because they're accessible to most other systems. That's what I mean. Valhalla, Assassin's Creed, like, especially with, Elden Ring, Stellar Blade, those are not accessible to certain systems. You need a certain hardware. You need a freaking driver's card or something like that, or a graphics card, I mean, to play those games. Some people don't have that. You gotta understand, like, some people, like, are moving into cheaper, more beneficial ways, instead of just like something like, e-waste and stuff like that. More substantial ways to actually play games, more better ways of actually just, trying to actually experience these, because the thing is that the main, having advanced hardware, everything is not going to help you. Like, I don't know how, like, there's many examples just like other companies doing it, but at this point I'm going in circles of just like what I'm trying to say here. And the main message is that you don't need to freaking, like, mainstream. We don't need another PSVR game. We don't need another, like, this and that. Like, I get it. PlayStation is at that point. Not everybody is at that point. The majority of people are not at that point to freaking own a PS5, let alone a PS6. Saying that the PS5 is over is... No, it's not. The freaking PS4 and the PS3 is not over. Shoot, the PS1 is not over. Many people are playing PS1 games. They're coming through PS1 games on an everyday basis because of emulation, and that's what's actually giving them the experience to come back to those games, especially games that they never ever seen before. I never played any Resident Evil games. I never seen them, like, on the PS. I never played any, like, Metal Gear games until now. And that's thanks to emulation, and that's thanks to game preservation. We should talk about preservation, preserving our games, or basically stop with this whole online stuff that, Suicide Squad and Assassin's Creed Shadows is doing. Because I'm tired with the whole online, especially the crew. That was heartbreaking. You literally are getting robbed at broad daylight from the same people that made the game just to actually, so they can keep it for their own benefits or something like that. I don't know. There's no reason. But it's like, I don't know. I know that, pretty much I'm all over the place because I'm ranting here, and this is a moment of rant, but there's also something in particular that I try to get people's mind across, especially, game developers that are like, people like Neil Druckman, or people that are up in his level. And I mean up his level, that probably will never hear me. But I say this in the air, knowing that it's probably gonna find some ways in the algorithm, that we gotta stop with the major games, okay? We don't need a freaking, like, Crisis Core, of, like, remake 2,000 times. We just need actual new games that are, like, that can actually be developed and played, but also within cheap hardware. We don't need major hardware. That's how you actually get it. I don't know. That's maybe my strategy of just, like, how you actually go for major hardware, like, like small hardware can actually, still be played with these games. I'm still imagining, like, days of just, like, playing PSP games, and a new one comes out, like, oh, what, new PSP game, what, and being played, like, that's something, especially that's been developed through some NES games, some ROM hacks here and there that they're making. But with stuff like, like, oh, we need to make a virtual, masterpiece visuals. We need to have, like, freaking 9,000 million thousand miles, freaking million frames per minute. No, we don't. Okay. Do you want to blow up your PCs, like, or blow up PS5s from everywhere? Okay. Are you just, is that the plan? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't like people's, like, like Neil Druckman's picture of gaming, despite him actually making a good game and being a well-named, person within the PlayStation verse. But it's like we don't need, like, all this visual, like, advancements. Like, it's just, like, just think about, calm down and sell it to a way where you're trying to break down like a certain dish. We don't need many robots or the most advanced robot to make a pizza. We just need a person to make a freaking simple pizza and just like make it actually good and taste good, and that's it. Boom, you're making money. Okay, you don't need the most highest technology and highest ingredients, and no, you just need to make and maybe pretty much sell it cheap, at least for me. But that's just what I wanted personally. But other people have different means. Hopefully this makes sense. I know it probably doesn't. It's kind of like the main topic here in this freaking Vince talk that I just freaking butchered. But you know what? That's how we do it here. Let's move on to animation because I haven't did animation news in a while, but this is another one. I guess it's certain a rant. Hopefully not a rant that I talk about Neil Druckman, but that's we just never know. Sonic Prime. Apparently, from what I heard from the people that made it or something, or the Team Sonic team, because here's the thing. I didn't review Sonic Prime. I was supposed to review it despite me not being a movie reviewer or a show reviewer. I did not like it. Okay? Sonic Prime, 2 sucked. 3? It's like, come on. I don't... Can we stop including the egg people? The Eggmans? Okay? You couldn't just have an egg woman and just... And also, what is up with these characters? Like, I get it. It's cool to see Rouge, Big the Cat. First off, if it's really surrounding the whole Sonic universe, because this is what they said. It's canon within the Sonic universe. No, it isn't. That's its own thing. Okay? What else are we going to say? Are we going to say Knuckles, that show series that didn't do so well from what I heard, is canon all of a sudden? Okay? Are you saying that, and this is pretty much a Sonic rant. If you know Sonic, actually, what I mean is, sorry, if you don't know Sonic, you're probably going to look at me crazy. But Sonic Prime, in many ways, is not canon to freaking Sonic Adventure or anywhere surrounding that. The amount of fan games that are coming out there, True Sonic, it is more canon than freaking Sonic Prime. It's the same thing with Neil Druckman. When it comes down to people within outside the business, outside the company that are more independent, that are more hungry for game development or hungry for creating stuff, compared to the people inside the damn industry that are just pleasing their stakeholders. That are just pleasing them, massaging the legs of the stakeholders, basically. And it's like, well, what are you trying to choose here? Between Sonic Prime being something that is related within the main universe. Because what canon means is that it's related to the main franchise of everything. It's no. Okay? And here's the thing. I wish that Sonic would just be something its storyline would be the same equivalent as One Piece, but that would be asking too much. Just imagine, because One Piece itself, when they make games, when they make this and that, and it's a total different franchise. It's anime, it's totally different. It's freaking beast mode. At the same time, nothing is really canon because all of it is included. I mean, sure, you have some fan comics, fanfics of just people making about, it's me, ex Robin or whatever. I don't know what there's people doing that night. But at the same time, yeah, the whole pretty much canon within One Piece is non-existent because everything's already clear and perfect. But Sonic itself, it doesn't involve that way. It just involves in a way where it's supposed to be well, I don't are you saying that because Frontiers, I don't know if Sonic Frontiers that I still haven't played yet, is that really canon? Okay? Is that canon to most of Sonic Prime? Because I don't really see Tails or 9 that's really canon within all of this. I thought it was just something that's mixed up, that something could be something new. Because I'm still thinking about the people within, at least in terms of Sonic, the comics, especially that green-haired girl that is in the comics that is pretty much well known. Is she gonna be included? Is Blaze the Cat gonna be included? Is Silver? I don't get it. Is the robots from freaking Lost World in Sonic Colors gonna be included? I don't know where are they? Okay, what is canon, what is not is still confusing. The idea of things being canon is where do you want us to go? Anyways, that's enough for me. This is a rants. Okay, a rant freaking buffet here in the Vince Talks. But hey, who am I, right? I'm just here ranting and just giving you whatever you want to hear, which is probably nothing, but at least it's something, because boy, did I give you a lot. Out of here. One love to peace. God bless.